Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me today. If you don't know who I am Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you some techniques that I use every day in my own voiceover business, and I answer your questions. And I've been trying to do these weekly, and I've been succeeding thus far. We'll see how it goes. But I enjoy these hours of the week that I spend with you guys because it seems like we're building a community here, and I really enjoy that. So, but these are really for, answering your questions. So if you have any questions during the week and if they can wait until Tuesday, then definitely ask your questions, type them in the chat, and I'll answer your questions. So if you've been here before, you know that I have a poll. Every week I have a poll. And this poll this week is in regards to voices.com adding the project feature to their website, which is very, very similar to some of the gig marketplaces, if not very closely the same. That you would find on sites on like Fiverr or Upwork, where you can review a gig. Your voice is basically a product, right? You can create a gig, and the client on voices.com can then search for a voiceover artist or a gig and select it, pay it, and then start the gig, right? Much like Fiverr. And I think it's a great thing. I think it's something that we've been talking about for a while. And if you followed me for any length of time, I've been saying that my opinion is that this is the direction that things are going to go, because it just makes it easier on the client, right? You don't have to go through all of the auditioning process. Although they don't get to hear, choosing a gig, they don't get to hear their script performed as a sample. I guess they could if they reached out to you first and asked for one, but they could just choose a gig, choose a voice actor, listen to some demos, check out their pricing, and then start the gig, right? So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I created my gig profile yesterday on voices.com, and we'll see how it goes. I think it's still in review. I haven't checked it this morning, but I would think it probably takes 24 hours or more to approve a gig. Anywho, let's go back to the poll. So far we've got about 10 votes. And the question was, do you think this is a good thing, right? The voices.com gigs, do you think this is a good thing? And 30% of you said, yes, we should get work faster. None of you said, no, I prefer auditioning for jobs. The auditioning is it's just not fun. 40% of you say undecided, and 30% of you say I do not use voices.com. Interesting. Okay. Well, maybe you'll consider it. Every once in a while, usually around November, like Black Friday-ish, like right before the holidays, you'll see voices.com offer a discount on their membership. It's been that way for the last couple years. I would assume they would do the same this year, but we'll see. They'll usually knock off a couple $100s for their membership for the year. So if you want to give it a try, look out for that. Looking at the chat, I know that there's a question in there, but it's under my pinned comment. I think I saw something about it before I created the comment. If that is you, the very first commenter, if you could re-ask your question so I can read it completely. It's completely blocked for me on my end by my pinned comments. I would be more than happy to answer it. It had something to do with meditations. If you could ask it again, I would be grateful so I can answer your question. But how's everybody doing today anyway? It's a great day. It's Tuesday. I'm feeling a little better. Spent the entire weekend in bed, but today I feel about 90%. I sound like me, so that's what's important, right? I can get back to work. All right, let's go over to our chat. We have Michael V here. Good morning. Good afternoon. I like that Voices added a Fiverr flavor. I first heard about it from Anthony Pica. Yeah, he did a video on it, I think yesterday, where he went through the process of creating the gig, what it was, how, and showed how similar it was to the gigs you find on Fiverr. I had heard about it maybe the day before. I don't know when they introduced it. I don't know how new this is, or maybe it's been there for a while and we're all just getting wind of it. But I also saw Anthony's video yesterday and I went, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So that's when I filled out my gig profile. VoiceOver Van Deen is here. Good morning. Took the frog away on holiday with me last week. Hope you didn't miss him too much. Well, actually, no, he didn't go with you completely. He came by to visit while you were on holiday. So you probably need to keep a shorter leash on him because he definitely visits way too frequently. Hopefully he won't join me today. He probably will. Elle says, thanks, Angela. Happy day to you. Happy day to you, Elle. I appreciate you stopping by. Krista Hare Patton, I hope I said that right, says, hello. How do you get started if you've never done voiceover work? And is there an age limit to get started, like if you're 50 plus? Absolutely no. There's no age limit at all. As I've said before, and you might be new to my channel, so if you are, welcome. But one thing that I say quite a lot on my videos is that voice actors represent the world. We represent the voices of the world. So there is a need for every voice, the weird sounding voice, the older voice, the younger voice, every creed, race, color, gender, whatever. There's a need for every single voice in the world. So, and just for point of reference, I'm pretty close to 50. I don't know if I've told you guys, but I'm pretty close to 50 myself. And I started this business just 4 years ago. So that goes to show that there is a need for every voice in the world. So don't let your age, don't let anything hold you back. If you want to give this a try, if you want to give voiceover a try, I would definitely look into the equipment, get some training, because this is voice acting after all. You need to be able to emote and convey, interpret the script, and improv classes are actually pretty good too. But learning how to use your DAW, how to use and hook up all the equipment and the settings in your DAW and all of your equipment, all of that stuff is really, really important. So I would definitely look into the technical aspects, the equipment, some training, and then give it a try. You might just fall in love. That's usually how it goes for most of us. But welcome to the VoiceOver family, and I hope you stay. Andy B says, hello, hello. Hello, Andy. John Popovich is here. Good morning from Illinois. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, John. I appreciate, and that goes for all of you. I appreciate all the time, every single one of you that you spend taking out of your day and hanging out with me for an hour. I appreciate that. Kirk is here. Hey, Kirk. I hope you're feeling better. Glad you're feeling better. I think I'm on the path to better as well. Good. Fun times. Sleep is good. LOL. Lots of catch up to do. Yeah. Yeah, brother. I was in the same boat as you. But luckily it just worked out perfect for me where I had gotten far enough ahead on my projects that I was able to take a couple days off because I was, sequestered in bed. But yesterday was definitely a catch-up day for me, and today will be too as well. But sleep is good. Listen to your body. If you get sick, listen to your body. Stay in bed. Hydrate. Vitamins. I'll do you good. Stacy's here. Hi, Stacy. Miss you. She says greetings. Greetings, Stacy. Supplemental Seminary says, if someone has their studio set up with a mic, computer, sound treatment, etc., what is the next step to get going in voiceover? really just going back to answering the Krista's question about how do you get started, it really gets in. It's not just so much having everything set up. You really need to learn, and it is a learning curve. I mean, anything new is a definite learning curve, but you really need to learn your DAW, and your DAW is your digital audio workstation. That is what you record, edit, and process your files with. And there are lots of different DAWs available. There's Audacity, which is free to use and download. There's Adobe Audition, which I use, which I highly recommend. And there's Reaper, there's Studio One, there's tons of them. And most of them, I haven't found one yet that didn't, but most of them offer a free trial. So if you go and you search for DAWs and you select a couple and just do a free trial on them, just don't forget to cancel the trial if you don't like it. But, take a look around, walk through all of the stuff in the DAW. And YouTube is a goldmine of information for each of the different DAWs, right? You learn how to do a couple of things and then try them, and then choose the one that speaks to you. But your DAW is one of the most important elements in your studio because you're using it every day, all day, for everything that you do. So you really need to be comfortable with it and understand how it works. And also mic placement, getting training for voice acting is very important. There's a lot to learn in getting started in voiceover, but having just your equipment is just one step. But the next step for you, to answer your question, I would say definitely get some training. At least do all the YouTube searching, soak in all the videos, do all the research that you can, and give it a try and see if it's something that you enjoy. Let's see. I lost my place, guys. John Popovich says, Krista, just lay down some demos and go for it. No age limit whatsoever. Don't doubt yourself for a minute. All you have to do is get after it. John, you win the Comment of the Day award. I love this community. I love the voiceover community. Most of us have come across some people that maybe not, but the majority of us. I've never been part of an industry, of a collective of people that have been so welcoming, supportive, and warm. Of course, with every industry, you're going to find gatekeepers. You're going to find people who like things the way they are and don't want anyone else coming into their little circle. But that's just the way that it is, right? But for the most part, most of us are very warm, supportive, and welcoming. And I really, really enjoy that. It makes me feel part, or I just really enjoy it. And I'm glad that you guys do too, and you're so supportive of each other. I really appreciate that. Let's see. John Popovich says, Krista, and what Angela said. Melissa Barton Briggs says, Krista, I'm in the same boat, just getting started, over 50. Jump in and see how it goes. Well done, Melissa. See, Krista? Lots of warm, open arms for you. Andy B says, I am just about ready to buy the Lewitt Pure 440C. Any insights yet? No, because and that's the way that it goes too, right? You get caught up, you get some time, and then it goes away. And you get caught up, you got some time, and it goes away. So me being in bed for the last 3 days didn't really help things in making time to review the Lewitt. So again, I apologize. I'm not doing it on purpose. I swear to you. Today is all about getting caught up again. Oh, for craft's sakes, that's a cute name. What's a good rate per finished hour to ask for beginners? I always recommend checking out a couple of rate guides to get an idea. My friend Anthony Pica, and former coach Anthony Pica, has a great voiceover rate guide on his website, A VO's Journey. I believe a link to his website is in the description for this video. He has a rate guide in there that's broken down by beginner, intermediate, and advanced, or expert. I forget what the verbiage he uses. But that'll give you a good idea of what to start with and how to move forward and up in your rates as you get better and better and hone your craft. But for me, when I started out at $50 per finished hour, and now I'm currently at the industry standard of $250 per finished hour. Krista says, thank you, John. JCCAOL says, has anyone been able to do editing while having a slight ear infection? Sorry for being so blunt. You're not being blunt. It's a fact of life, right? It's something that we have to deal with. And with me just recently having this flu or sinusitis, I don't know what it was, but luckily it went away. But with that came I felt like my head was filled with cotton batting. So everything was a little bit muffled. So I totally get it. Kind of the same thing. It was difficult because I couldn't really hear what I was doing through my earphones as well as I could have, right? So I had to really go on instinct and what I have been doing in the past, just trusting the process that I had already set up, meaning using the same processing techniques. And with Adobe Audition in the spectral view, you can see mouth noise, you can see breaths, really just using all of my other senses, my intuition, what I've been doing, like trusting my process and looking for anything out of place to really get things done without quite being able to hear it properly, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it happens, right? But that's what I did. I really just trusted my process that I had already in place. Let's see. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Where am I at now? Oh, Blaze is here. Good morning, Blaze. Long time no talk. Angela, good morning. Glad you're feeling better. Yes, me too. Me too. Good to see you, Blaze. Well, you know what I mean. Good to hear from you. It's been a while. Aretha Andrew says, hello, everyone. First time joining. I'm mid-50-ish. Well, good. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I'm glad to have you. We're all glad to have you. Looks like there's about 25, 30-ish people in here, or have been in here. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Brittany Beck says, good morning. Krista says, thank you, Angela and John, for being so supportive. Of course. Of course, of course. And let's just pause really quick and let's go check the poll. And now we're up to 23 votes. And again, today's poll is voices.com added project gigs to their website. Do you feel that that's a good thing? And we got 23 votes. 35% of you say, yes, we should get work faster, because the gigs kind of cut out all the audition process, all the back and forth. It's really just your voice is a product and the client chooses you and places an order, right? So it should cut out some of the time in between. None of you say, no, I prefer auditioning for jobs. I mean, who does? But it's the nature of the beast, right? But if I didn't have to, I wouldn't want to. 33% of you, wow, it's an even split. 33% of you say, yes, we should get work faster. 33% say undecided. And 33% say, I do not use voices.com. You may not now, but you will definitely, I'm sure, check it out in the future. It's a great site for finding additional work. And keep in mind that not all sites are the same. Some sites are, like I said before, more like a gig economy where your voice is a product. They search for your gig on Fiverr, Upwork, places like that, and they choose you, they place an order, you fulfill the order, and then you move on, right? Places like voices.com, Voice123, VoQuint, VO Jungle, Voice Planet, VO Planet, Bodalgo. There's tons of different voiceover specific websites. And each one of them works, I shouldn't say each one of them works a different way. Some of them will charge you a membership fee. Some of them will just take a percentage of everything that you make, like off of every job that you do. And some will do both. So really, look around and get a good feel of the pricing structures for each of these different voiceover websites before you sign up. Most of them will allow you to add a free profile, but the caveat is that you can't audition until you are a member and pay for their membership fees. So they all work a little bit differently. So I would definitely, before you choose one to put yourself on to find voiceover work, is to do your research, right? And that goes with anything. Do your research first and then make an educated decision on what you do for your business going forward. Okay, off of my tangent. Let's go back to the chat. Okay, Brandon's here. Hey, Brandon. Hi, buddy. Less of a question, more of an anecdote. Finished my first book yesterday. Congratulations. Yay. I went back to the early chapters to redo some voices, but the recording was just so blah compared to later chapters. Yeah, I've been there. I've totally been there. And sometimes it takes a while to develop a character voice, right? Because as you go along, if you didn't read the book beforehand, and as you go along, you discover the character's personality, and you might discover some more of their attributes, like if they're missing teeth, something like that. So as you go along, you discover their attitude and their personality, and then you kind of create a new voice for them. And that usually doesn't come until like midway through, right? So then you end up having to go back and re-record some of the voices. And that's normal. And then also, as you go along, usually the beginning of the book is not going to be as good as the mid to the end, because you're getting comfortable, right? In the very beginning, you're not quite sure what to expect, how it's going to go, how well it's going to be written. Again, if you didn't read it beforehand. And you get more comfortable with the content as you go. So I hear that a lot, and that a lot of people go back to the beginning. I've done it myself, and re-record the first few chapters to make it match the remainder of the book. So I get it. I'm there with you. And then he says, now I got to redo the first 6 chapters. 6 chapters. And hiya, Brandon. Adele T says, hi, Angela. Hey, big fan. Well, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. Voiceover Van Deen says, at Krista, just over 50 here as well. And it's my 1-year anniversary today since I stepped off the corporate ladder to go full time. Congratulations. That is awesome. I love hearing that. See, Krista? There's a lot of us. All shapes and sizes, right? JCCAOL says, thanks, Angela. Hugs. Thank you. Aretha Andrews says, thank you. Kenny M. Hi there, Miss Angela. Glad you're feeling better. Me too. Does your workshop offer guidance on the administrative financial end of the business? If not, do you have any recommendations for where to go? I can give you recommendations based on my opinion and what I have experienced, but I do not have any kind of license or certification to discuss tax advice and things like that. But I can tell you that for my business, I use PayPal and QuickBooks and what else? What am I forgetting? And my website, Wix, has a great CRM. So between those 3 applications, I've been able to manage my business fairly easily. Like QuickBooks has a self-employed option. So it'll calculate your quarterly taxes and keep track of expenses and income and give you a profit and loss and all of that stuff. PayPal is a great buffer between the client and your bank account. And also you can send invoices from PayPal. You can from QuickBooks as well. But PayPal Business has been a great asset for me. And then, of course, my website, Wix. Wix has been huge in developing my business. There isn't anything that I have been needing to do that Wix could not do so far. So I'm very, very happy with those. But other than that, I can't really give you a whole lot of administrative or financial advice because I'm not certified or licensed to do so. But to answer your question about the workshop, I do have one-on-one sessions where we can discuss and I can show you things. Or you can join the Platinum group, which is a group of people that we meet every week on Thursday and do peer reads for each other and things like that. But we also have a session dedicated to questions and tutorials, and we could go over some things there. But I also have a mentorship program where I'll meet with you once a week for either 4 weeks or 12 weeks, and we can discuss. I'll meet you where you are, basically. We'll discuss whatever it is that you need to start, get over, questions to help you get, walking you through setting up your profiles, whatever it is. So I do have a few options, but we can't get too far into depth because, again, I'm not certified or licensed to talk about those. Michael V says, I guess I'm in that 50 plus category myself. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sharing. Robert Palmore says, morning. Krista says, wow, voiceover Van Deen, that's great. I think I'm going to give this a try. I think you should. And I think everyone else here in the chat would echo the same. I think you should, Krista, for sure. Give it a try. You never know. Robert Palmore says, Scott Brick said in an interview that sometimes he goes back and re-records some of the beginning. Yeah, Scott Brick is, if you don't know who Scott Brick is, he's one of the audiobook legends. And I actually watched him in last year's One Voice conference. He was doing a audiobook seminar, and it was really, really interesting. But really what it comes down to for audiobooks, and from what I gleaned from his seminar or his class, was just to be you, just read the book as you, just be you. So that it was the best advice. But that's what it basically came down to. But yeah, it's a completely normal thing, going back and re-recording some things for sure, because you're not really in your groove and you're not really super comfortable in the very beginning. So that's normal. Ralph Toll says, hi, Angela and fellow VO participants. Glad you're feeling better. Thanks, me too. I'm 64 and fairly new to VO, so don't let your age be a deterrent. Well said, Ralph. Thank you for sharing. You guys are awesome. John Deckard says, is it possible to earn a six-figure income, or is that the exception to the rule? I know several VOs who are making six figures a year, easily, in voiceover. I myself am fairly close, but I have not yet eclipsed that. I should say I have been close. But as with any business, it's up, it's down, it's not super consistent unless you can, earn yourself lots of repeat clients and keep the same level month after month. But it is very, very doable. But again, just like anything else, it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of time to build the business and your book of clients, for sure. But it is completely possible. I know several. Elle says, what time does your group meet? Oh, on Thursdays. My Platinum group meets on Thursdays at, so that would be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we meet. We usually meet for about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, depending on what we're doing. It's very casual. Bring a drink, and we read for each other. We play demos for each other. We do tutorials and Q&As, Great group of people. Great group of people. I love each and every one of them. Sean Lester 007 says, since January, 18 audiobooks and 1 Upwork client. Just received first royalty check. Not bad start for a hobby job. Question, do you take gigs from clients off Facebook? How do you verify? What usually happens for me is clients will find me someplace. They'll find me on Fiverr. They'll find me on Upwork. They'll find me from YouTube. They'll find me from Google, right? And they'll just reach out to me directly and say, hey, I found you here, and would you like to do this job? Sure, right? And it really comes down to doing your own research in this verification process that you're speaking of. If the client says that they work for a specific business, look up the business and see if that person does in fact work there. Ask questions, right? Don't just take any old job, because you never know. And send your invoice up front. If it's an audiobook, ask for 50% upfront and the remaining 50% when the book is complete. There's a couple things that you could do to protect yourself from being scammed, but you have to do your own due diligence if someone contacts you directly. And that is, check out their LinkedIn profile, check out their website, ask qualifying questions without being annoying, because you don't want to, you don't want to mess up the relationship with this client if you're just starting to build it, right? But not necessarily off Facebook. No. Sometimes people don't tell me where they find me. They just reach out to me. Oh, for craft's sakes. Angela, do you coach new narrators? I don't really consider myself a coach per se, but I share the information that I know. So with my website, with my platinum group, my one-on-one mentorship, I do coach you wherever you are. And then I also belong to Anthony Pica's Elite Academy, which is a group of trainers or coaches that have a class every day of the week, Monday through Friday. I'm the Friday coach for the audiobook section. So yes, I discuss formatting manuscripts and character voices and formatting files for ACX and findaway voices, all of that stuff every Friday for his group. And I think there's actually a link in the description below this video for a 50% off your first month for the Elite Academy. So there's a few different options to get you started in narrating audiobooks. Stan Hargrove, hey Stan, or 75 plus, see? And Stan, oh my God, you guys should hear Stan's voice. It's an amazing voice. And Eric is here. Hey Eric, hello, hello. It's an awesome group. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Elle says, thank you for that info. You're welcome. Blaze says, how much is your platinum group? Right now, it's only $20 a month. And personally, I think that's a great deal for meeting once a week for an hour or more. Plus, with my platinum group, you get scripts. I have scripts in there that they can use, my members can use for practice, demos. I have mini courses that come with membership. I have my blog. I have, oh my gosh, I can't think, but there's a lot of resources, like I have ebooks, I have planners, I have budget worksheets. I have all of this help, right, for my platinum members. And right now it's only $20 a month. And I think that might go up at the end of the summer. But right now it's $20 a month. Brandon said there's a human fox hybrid in the group. Nuff said. There is, actually. It's so funny. We had one of our members in our group Thursday last week had a fox avatar. It was pretty funny. Stacy K says Angela's group is awesome. Thank you, Stacy. You guys are awesome. Stacy said, ha ha ha, Brandon. It was pretty funny. It was pretty unexpected, and he stayed a fox the entire session. And every time we looked at him, it killed us. Nut Horde says, hey, I don't want to show my face on the thumbnail. You don't have to. You don't have to show your face on the thumbnail. I do recommend that you do, because humans want a human connection. They want to be able to look somebody in the eye when they make a business transaction, but you don't have to. There's even been talk. Actually, no, I'm not even going to say that. I don't know if I want to say that. I don't know how much I agree with that. So I'm not going to say that. But you don't necessarily have to show your face. But I just recommend that you do. Ash says, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Ash. All right, let's go back up to the poll really quick, like how we doing on time. 9:30. It's there. Okay, we've got time. We've about 25 minutes left. All right, so we got about 34 votes. And again, today's poll is Voices.com added project gigs to their website. Do you feel it's a good thing? So 34 votes, and 26% of you say yes, we should get work faster. 6% say no, I prefer auditioning for jobs. Interesting. 35% say undecided, and 32% I do not use Voices.com. I'm actually surprised that 6% of you say no, I prefer auditioning for jobs. Some people do. That's okay. Me personally, I would rather not if I don't have to. But some people do, and that's fine. Interesting. Okay. Oh, gosh. I guess scrolling. Okay. And then Blaze says, oh, snap. I got to get in there. What time again? Sorry, driving, LOL, voice to text. Blaze should stop watching live streams while you're driving. It's not safe. Platinum group is Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, we meet for about an hour, sometimes 2 hours. And in addition to that weekly meeting, there's tons of other resources for them. And you can find all that information on my website. It's right below my head here, voiceoverangela.com. Coolest Review says, hello, everyone. Hello, Coolest Reviews. Kirk says, if he doesn't show up as the Fox this Thursday, I'll be very disappointed. Hi to the fellow Platts. I think he's going to show up as a different avatar this week, I think, if I had to guess. He's going to try them all out. And we have to think of another name for ourselves other than Platts. We have to think of something clever for the group. Nat, I'm sorry, you are not welcome. Eric says, hi, KKL. Kirk. Blaze says 8 p.m. is perfect. Sweet. Great. We would love to have you, Blaze. You are a treasure. Eric says, KLH. That's funny. You guys are so funny. All right. So let's see. That's it for the chat on my end for right now, but it looks like 38 votes. Okay, so I'm guessing like one of you said, no, I prefer auditioning for jobs. Everybody else is either undecided or don't use voices.com. And I have to assume that most of you are just getting started. So you haven't started to sign up for a bunch of different voiceover websites yet. And that's okay, because you have to be sure. Once you choose 1, 2, 3 different websites to focus your energy on, those become pretty much your life. You're on them all day long, auditioning for jobs or tweaking your profile, or, you're spending a lot of time on them. So it's a good idea to make sure that you understand how that website works, how the processes work, right? So being on voices.com costs money, right? There's a free membership that you can have. You can have your profile on there, but you can't audition until you become a member. That opens up the ability to audition. And Voice 123 they also have a membership level. Most of them do. I'm trying to think of Voquint does not. You can have tons of demos on Voquint, and you can audition on Voquint, I believe. I don't want to give you any kind of misinformation, but there are literally hundreds of voiceover websites, not to mention the the gig marketplaces that are available too to find work. And those, for me, in my experience, um, have resulted in work faster, and going out on my own and starting this business much faster, I think. Although I do know a couple of artists who did not get onto Fiverr or Upwork. They went straight to voices.com and started getting jobs right away, which is just crazy to me. But she auditioned for loads of jobs and got like 4 or 5 in her first month, which is just nuts. Because for some of us, it's just like we audition, and nothing. But then she goes on there on her first month and finds 4 or 5 jobs, which is just nuts. But, and some people don't like the whole gig economy, and that's fine too. And I say that meaning like Fiverr and Upwork. What are some of the other ones? Freelancer.com, Backstage, maybe not Backstage. What's the other one I'm thinking of? Five Squid? Guru is another one. So there's tons of different places where you can find work. Spazia, hey. Hi, Angela. Love your voiceover neon sign. Where can I get it? This is from Amazon, actually. I bought it on Amazon. I think I even looked at Etsy recently for custom-made signs, and there's a ton of different options, not just on Amazon, but Etsy, you could probably get something even custom with your name or your logo on it. That might be my next step. Stacy K says num-nums. Num-nums? No. Brandon says Angela's Aces. You know, I don't know if I want my name in it. It just seems kind of like I've got an ego. I don't know. Maybe the Aces? I don't know. We'll have to think of something cool for ourselves. Coolest Review says, Angela, thanks for all your advice on Fiverr. It has been a big help. Good. I'm glad. Trying to demystify some of these sites that I'm still trying to figure out. You know, Fiverr has been an ongoing mystery. I think I have it mostly figured out of mainly what to do and mainly what not to do. But if I had the big red easy button, I would definitely share. Oh, for craft's sakes. Thank you for answering my questions. Where do we go to sign up for your platinum group? If you go to my website, voiceoverangela.com, and there are several tabs at the top. And under the VO Workshop tab, there's pretty much all of the resources that you need. There's a group that you can join. There's my one-on-one sessions, which is just a singular session to meet with me. And then if you go to, I think the page is called Plans and Pricing. There's the Platinum group, and then there's a few courses. There's a few different things on there available to you, but it's called the Platinum group. And I think that's the first option that you'll come upon. Lost my place again. Kirk says, Stacy, LOL. Num-nums. Am I forgetting something? What happened with the num-nums? Refresh my memory. John Deckard. Engineering editing is, for me, the most intimidating aspect. How long is the learning curve to become proficient? I am still learning. 4 years later, I am still learning new things. And things that I wish I knew, years ago. But you don't know what you don't know until you need to know it, right? So you're always discovering new things to learn when you need to learn it. But I think I became the most comfortable with it maybe a year or two later, because there's so much to learn. The learning curve is pretty substantial. But again, YouTube is a wealth of information, and Mike Russell, the YouTube channel Mike Russell, has been really, really great for me in learning Adobe Audition. I think he also talks about Reaper. Also Premiere Pro, if you also get into editing videos. But learning your DAW is super important. I cannot stress that enough. Whatever DAW that you choose, definitely learn the ins and outs of editing, recording, processing, because all of that is just going to be, the tools in your tool belt for making you sound the best that you can. Brandon says the VO Vanguard. I like that. The VVs, the VOVs. I like that. I like it. I like it. Okay. That one's definitely up for consideration. Nuthord says, thank you for answering. Would love a video on how to approach English speaking gigs as a non-native. I can indeed speak the language, but I want to know your thoughts on that. I would definitely offer the gig, but when you're setting up that particular gig, I think maybe even let's just say we're talking about Fiverr, just so I can focus on one. But when you're setting up your profile on, let's say, Fiverr, and you're not a native English speaker, they will ask you what languages you speak and how proficient you are with them. So when you set up that gig, it'll show the client that you are not a native English speaker and that you have maybe a conversational, I forget what the other verbiage is, a conversational understanding of English. So the client can see that you're not a non-English native speaker, if that makes sense. But if you can understand other languages, if you're bilingual, multilingual, it's always a plus. It's always going to open you up to more avenues and more clients around the world if you can speak more languages. So I would definitely not have that hold you back, but be upfront, transparent, and honest with your clients and tell them that don't give them the impression that you can speak English fluently when you can't, because that is not fair to you. Mr. Nat, you're done. That's not fair to you or your client. Why does this always happen? The frog and the gnat. I don't get it. I'm done with you two. Good God. All right, let's get back. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Stacy says, Kirk Lawrence, ha ha ha. Thanks, Kirk. Voices is $500 for membership, a bit rich for this noob. Yes, it is. It is. But they also have I think it's a $5,000 a year tier. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this live, voices.com, usually around right before the holidays at the end of the year, like fall, winter, they will usually offer a discounted deal on joining or trying voices.com for that year. And I think when I signed up, it was $199 for the entire year. And if you think about it, if you can just get one job, even one or two jobs on Voices, that would cover that fee. So I think that is when I jumped in to try it. But they usually do that every year about the holidays. So I would definitely check back with them. But you're right, that's a chunk of change. Coolest Review says, I would like to find one or two consistent clients. I haven't found too much luck with random people on Fiverr. But surprisingly, all the random people on Fiverr, not all of them, but a good chunk of those random people on Fiverr have turned out to be fantastic repeat clients. I've had clients on Fiverr that I've been with that have called on me every once in a while for the last few years. And when you have a good book of clients, of repeat clients, even on Fiverr, those are what help you, build your business, because if you can keep those people happy, they will refer other people to you. And not just that, but the reviews they leave you, if they're happy with you, those reviews will help drive all of your gigs forward on the algorithm. And repeat traffic to any gig is definitely going to be a plus for your algorithm on your gigs too. But give it time. Once you have a gig or a profile posted somewhere, it doesn't mean that everyone's just going to know immediately what you sound like and what your customer service is like. They have to find you, and they have to work with you and build a relationship with you. It's not an overnight thing, for sure. It took me 4 years to get to this point that I'm at now with a nice book of repeat clients. And that just comes with being upfront, transparent, honest, deliver great customer service, and just taking care of them, knowing that you're reliable, they can count on you. Sometimes being flexible. And if your standard delivery time is 2 days and they need it within a couple of hours and they've been a great client for you, do what you can to get that done for them in a couple of hours, because all of that matters. All of that flexibility that you have and that transparency, that trustworthiness matters to the client. It would matter to you, right? If you're building a business with a freelancer. So those people, those random people on Fiverr could turn out to be great customers for you. Just take care of them. Treat them as you would want to be treated, right? Stacy says, I don't know why I'm so scared of Fiverr. Punch fear in the face, Stacy. Punch it right in the face. Get out there and get on it. Get in it. I'm going to make myself a note to remind you. Fiverr, Stacy. I'm writing it down. I'm going to remind you on Thursday. Stacy says, the alternate name for Platts, num-nums. Oh. The num-nums? Oh my God, you guys are so... Nacho time. Kirk, nacho time. It's nacho time. We usually say at the end of the meetings, it's nacho time, because usually in the beginning, I was dreaming of this place that offers nachos with like pulled pork, like pork belly on them. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds so good. And I would say it's time for nachos. It's nacho time at the end of the meeting. So that's where nacho time comes from. But, oh my God, you guys are awesome. Brittany Beck says, I may have gotten a foot in the door with an author who has a whole series of books. Here's hoping she likes our current project enough to ask me to narrate some of her other books too. Yes, everybody cross your fingers for Brittany, because it can happen. But don't take it personally if she doesn't want you for the whole series. Some authors want variety. You would think that once you start book 1, and you would want to keep the character voices consistent throughout the whole series, you would think. But not all authors think that way. Not all authors want the same voice for every book in the same series. So don't take it personally if she doesn't. It may not be you. It may just be the author's preference. Coolest Review says it's all about the free open source software, Audacity, and for film, Shotcut. I've heard of Shotcut before. I've heard of that one before. I think, did I do a video that included Shotcut? Maybe that's where I've heard it. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, Audacity is a free to use DAW. And they just did an update to it. I think they just included a punch and roll, if I'm not mistaken. So they keep improving it, which is good. Where are we at on time? Ooh, we got about 5 minutes or so left. Okay. Elle says, "What kind of chair is that? LOL, mine is too loud." This is a Secret Lab chair that I bought 2 years ago. Perhaps when I went full time, I bought myself a new chair. It's a gaming chair, but has a really great warranty on it, and it's super comfortable. Because I thought to myself, I needed a new chair. Who sits in chairs for hours and hours and hours? Gamers, right? So this is a gamer chair. It is an investment, but I think it's well worth it for me. And plus, dragons, right? I love it. It's quiet and it's comfortable. Kirk says, at Brandon, VO Vanguard, I vote yes. Would we be the Vans? The Vans or the VOVs? That's funny. Oh my God. Stacy says, ha ha ha, punch fear in the face. By the way, I have a shop on my website where I have t-shirts. Punch fear in the face is one of the t-shirts I have. Just telling you. On my website, voiceoverangela.com/shop. Stacy says, go Brittany. Brandon says, Kirk, VOVs, methinks. LOL, wait, hold on. Angela's talking about punching someone in the face. Gotta hear this. Not someone, just fear. Punch fear in the face, right? Stand up and punch fear in the face and just do it. Ash says, what VO books do you recommend? I am reading VoiceOver Voice Actor, and it's quite informative. That's so funny because that is one of the books that I recommend. For anyone else that is just joining us and doesn't know of this book, this is VoiceOver Voice Actor, and you can get this on Amazon. It's really, really interesting. There's a lot of great stuff in here. Warm-ups, finding an agent. There's tons of really great information in this book. And that is definitely one that I recommend. I had just ordered Donald Miller's Marketing Made Simple. That one should arrive, I think, today or tomorrow. I'm going to read through that one, and I've heard great things about it already. So once I look through it, and if I recommend it, which I'm sure I will, then I'll let you guys know about that one too. But as far as voiceover books go, this is really the only one that I've purchased thus far. But I do recommend it. It's a great book. JCCAOL says, I just made some air fryer nachos. They were good. Oh, you guys are making me hungry. Now I'm thinking about pork belly nachos. Oh my God. Musical Neptunian says, Shotcut is also in the Linux repo if you are using Linux. Shotcut. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've heard that before. Coolest Review says, what you say is true, Angela. Reflecting on your words, I am thinking I should put out the type of image that attracts the clients for me, i.e. certain personality types get along with each other. That's true, and you're not always going to get along with everybody. You know, some people might be may not have the same kind of ideology for business, the way business should be conducted as you. And sometimes it's going to be difficult, especially when there are language barriers, because not all language is going to be translated correctly using translation software. So sometimes things get lost in that translation, and you really have to not take things personally. So it can be a challenge when you're working with a worldwide, clients worldwide. Nat. But, and it is trying sometimes, but you can totally do it. Most of us do. Nat, don't you fly in front of the camera. Nat. L, the dragon is the selling point for sure. Yeah, it's the Targaryen. This is a Game of Thrones chair. There were a Stark one. There's I almost said Gryffindor. Baratheon. There's, all of them. All of the different houses are there. There's tons of different chairs on Secret Lab on their website. Stacy K says, yes, t-shirts. Yes, ma'am. Got you covered in the t-shirt section. 90 Nostalgia says, sorry if you've answered before, but when you first started doing VO, about how long did it take before you got your first gig? How did you keep up your drive to keep trying? My journey started because I wanted to spend more time with my family, namely my son. I wanted to spend more time with him as he grew up and not be the parent constantly at work, right? So that is why I started this business. That is my why. My why has carried me through many difficult situations and kept me pushing through because I wanted to achieve this home-based business, doing something that I enjoy for him. So that why has carried me very, very far. And for your first question, it took me on Fiverr. I started on ACX, and then I started on Fiverr, and then I created a profile on Upwork. Fiverr, my first gig on Fiverr took me about a month or two before I saw my first gig. Getting that first order is difficult because that social proof is everything. That 5-star review that people want to see, they want to see somebody before them come in and say, this guy is great, 5 stars, go ahead and come on in and order. People want to see that before they place an order. So getting that social proof for that first order is really, really difficult. So that is where hitting those buyer's requests on Fiverr is really going to come in handy for you. to introduce yourself to people on Fiverr and hopefully encourage one of them to come check out your gig and place an order. Brandon says, I highly recommend pulled pork made from jackfruit. I've heard that before. I've never tried it, though. I'll have to try that. John Popovich says, Angela, thanks for the great info as always, and I gladly accept the comment of the day award. You're welcome, Krista, and good luck. Great input by everyone. Thanks to you all. Great community. This is a great community. I'm so privileged to be part of such a great community, and I thank you all. I thank you all for coming in and being part of it. I really appreciate you. Stephen Flynn says, VO demo. Do I send 4 15-second of my recording? What information does a VO platform need from me? I'm guessing is what that means. Some of them want several samples. You can do, I wouldn't do a compilation demo. I would do separate demos of different types of voiceover work. If you're doing characters, different characters. If it's e-learning, if it's audiobook, I would don't do like a compilation demo reel where it's got a little bit of everything. I would give them, because if the client's looking for something specific, they can go specifically to that that reading style that they're looking for and hear you doing it and go, yep, that's the one. You don't want to have to make somebody listen through an entire 1-minute reel to get to the voice at the end that is, pertaining to what they're looking for. So you want to have samples on there that are exactly a specific tone or a specific style of read to make it easier on the client. Robert Palmore says, is the gnat bugging you? Yes, the gnat is bugging me. I don't know how they get in here. It's so irritating. Kirk says, don't forget to like the vid. Oh, and vote if you've a primary today. Oh, that's right. That's right. Go ahead and like the vid. I'll wait. Did you like it? Great. I appreciate you. And vote. Thanks, Kirk. All right. Brandon says, I love Angela's shirts. They're the only ones I wear or will allow my kids to wear. So comfortable, and I get compliments on them all the time. Psst, Angela, how am I doing on selling the shirts? Brandon, you are a gem. I love you, Brandon. You guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome. Okay, let's hit the poll one last time, and then we'll call it for today. All right, so 45 votes. Today's poll again was Voices.com added project gigs to their website. Do you feel it's a good thing? 20% of you said yes, we should get work faster. 7% said no, I prefer auditioning for jobs. And 38% of you say undecided. And 36% of you said I do not use Voices.com yet, right? I'm sure we all will at some point. All right. Robert Palmore says the bugs probably fly in. Yeah. Well, the garage is right next door. They probably come in through there. Dang it. Elle said liked it. Good. You understood the assignment. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye.